Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. This is going to be a general tarot reading for the month of July 2024 for the air sign of Gemini. So, if you have Gemini in your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, or perhaps you have a Venus or Mars in Gemini, this reading may indeed resonate for you. And that's it. We're going to get right into it. We're going to be looking at all areas, wherever the message is, and there will be an extended reading with a link to that reading. You can check the description for that. So let's jump right into your month, Gemini. You're coming out first with a Knight of Cups. Beautiful. We have an Eight of Swords, interference coming in, 10 of Cups, and a Five of Discs. All right, so those are the four sort of main energies for July. All right. Let me begin to shuffle your tarot deck for the actual reading. Knight of Cups energy, definitely love coming in. Love coming in with words, gestures, actions, right? Action and love combined. Eight of Swords indicates difficulty in communication, right? Interference in communication. Then we have a lot of happiness and joy and completion with that 10 of Cups. And we round off these energies with some worry and anxiety over money. So we're going to take each in turn. And let's cut your deck. All right, let's get into the first one. Knight of Cups energy, King of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and the Six of Wands. Wow. So right away, with that Knight of Cups energy coming in, King of Pentacles as well, speaking right away to that Five of Pentacles, Gemini. Some of you are establishing yourselves. You are about your money right now, right? You're about sort of, I want to say, building a foundation, beginning to build your empire, right? You've already experienced some success in this regard. But there's also a love connection coming in. So right now you definitely have someone, a Knight of Cups energy coming in, someone coming into you. And I think that you're there for it. That Two of Cups is there and that Six of Wands is there. So right away there is a feeling of, victory, happiness, success. There's also a feeling here, Gemini, that a lot of people are paying attention to you right now. A lot of people are paying attention to the moves that you're making. They're paying attention to the money that you're making. Let's go further. So right away, beginning of July, we've got a love connection coming in, and we've got some real satisfaction in terms of your money or your job, or perhaps some kind of physical project that you're trying to manifest. You're definitely succeeding with that. You're starting, for some of you, I feel an energy of starting to establish yourself in some field. There's your Eight of Wands. And coming right back to the Knight, we have the Nine of Wands. A Nine of Wands pushing through. So there may indeed, in this connection here, there may indeed be a lot of communication. Like I said, this person is coming to you in action. They're coming to you with words, and they're coming to you with real things, real activity, real communication. But there's a lot of it. Some of it may indeed be a little bit overwhelming for you. Some of you Geminis may have to put some boundaries in place just to, whoa that horsey, because this individual feels like they're coming in quite strong. Right now, you do have a Nine of Wands in that arena with your work and your job. So it does feel, Gemini, like some of you are exhausted in this endeavor. Yes, success is coming in. Blessings are coming in from all the hard work. You are establishing yourself, but damn, it took a lot of work, right? And so for some of you, it feels like, I still have to push through. Right? There's some goal that you're trying to achieve that you're still having to push through for. All right, let's move on to that interference, Eight of Swords energy. We have a Seven of Cups. Wow. Four of Wands and the Devil. Wow. So there's definitely, you've had your heart set on some things. There's some goals that you've had in mind. That Seven of Cups is an interesting card, right? It's very much like, genie in the lamp energy. What shall I have? What is my wish? But sometimes it can be a little bit unrealistic, right? And so, yeah, there's something going on with a love connection. Hmm. Yeah. This person who's coming in may have already come in, Gemini. Okay. This may have already been established, or certainly over the last few months, this Knight of Cups may have established themselves in your life. Therefore, you guys already have this connection. For some of you may indeed be coming in. But nevertheless, towards the, second or third week of July, towards the middle of the month, there is a little bit of communication issues. You may find yourself having some problems, talking with each other. It just seems to be that you're not meeting, you're not seeing eye to eye. You're really not, you know what I mean? You're not meeting in the middle sort of thing. I think that some of the wish that you had for this connection, some of the dreams, you start to get a little bit worried about them. Are they actually going to happen? Can I really do something with this person? You may be getting to know this person a bit more and realizing, oh shit, you know, it started off great, but something's going on here. Four of Wands energy is there. So yes, there is, I want to say there is a feeling like this is a perfect union or should be a perfect union, but then we have devil energy. Some of you may indeed, be dealing with someone that you're finding out has a darker side. Before I move on, let me get a clarity. Use my clarifying deck for that devil. Some of you may be finding out that this person you're dealing with definitely has some demons, or they have a dark side. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those scenarios like, it's the beginning of a relationship, and maybe it's the first time y'all got drunk, or maybe it's the first time you were in a difficult situation, and all of a sudden you see something else. Temperance energy, Eight of Pentacles, and King of Cups. All right. So, not so bad, not feeling so bad. This person may indeed have had a past. Okay, they may have had a past, but right now they're working with it. Okay, Temperance is coming in, they're working through it. They're trying to be a good partner in this connection. Okay, so I'm going to say to a certain degree, the fears are a little bit unfounded here. Only because, as I say, yes, I think for some of you, there is a dark side to this individual. There's also a highly creative side to them. That devil is associated with Capricorn, but it's also associated with a high degree of artistic, creative energy. All right. Let me leave that there so you can see that. There's a lot of creative energy there. But certainly, I'm going to say, Gemini, some of you are perhaps finding out about a past or some side of this individual. But as I say, they are handling it. They're working very hard. They're being very responsible. They're exercising a lot of temperance in as much as they understand their weaknesses and they're dealing with them. I think that right now, let's go further. There's the sun. Okay, so you have a momentary situation here. I'm going to say Gemini, one more, and Queen of Wands. So you have a momentary situation in the middle of July, right, where this may be your first fight or something like that, or the first time you guys really got into something serious. But nevertheless, it's just like a moment, and it hits you hard because you really love this person. This new connection coming in, or recent connection, is strong. 1111 is there, but the sun comes out and the Queen of Wands comes out, Gemini. So that just indicates that there's a certain amount of experience and wisdom here that's going to push through for you, Gemini. Yes, there is a moment that happens in July where you really have a bit of a scare. You just get worried. You're a bit, you get nervous for a second that, oh my gosh, is this something that's going to be an issue? Whatever it is that you find out about your person, or for some of you, as I say, the arguing or the not being able to suddenly meet each other. Suddenly things are awkward. You're not communicating, but I think you get over that fairly quickly. It's just a fleeting thing. And the sun, as I said, and Queen of Wands comes out for you. So, that warmth, that love, clarity comes in, and you get to you figure out what's really going on here. Something wanted to pop out. King of Wands, another king. Okay, so yes, listen, the person you're dealing with, I'm going to say Gemini is very dominant. This person has a lot of fiery energy, a lot of masculine energy. Okay, a lot of king energy coming in. They coming with king, you're coming with king. But nevertheless, you guys get over that in July. Also, after this little hump, there's this 10 of cups. Completion, happiness. That happens sometimes, especially in the beginning of a relationship when you're going through like your first fight, you know what I mean? Or you're going through your first situation of, things are awkward or things just aren't as perfect as they have been up until now. And you get that, suddenly you get panicky and scared. It's like the first time that you've gone through some shadow in this connection. And then when you get over it, which I see happening here, absolutely getting over it, a lot of good positive energy down here with your individual. You get over it, and then it's like it's even better than it was before, because there's always that feeling of, oh my God, we've now we finally went through that stage, that first stage of like, when is this not going to be perfect? When are we going to have a little issue? How did we handle it? And you handled it, and you get through it, and like you feel even closer. That always happens. And that's the kind of scenario I'm talking about here. We have a 2 of Pentacles. Emperor energy. I was wondering, and there's that 5 of Pentacles again. So suddenly there's a lot of activity in July, right? Suddenly there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of activity and change, back and forth change going on with sort of the physical world, meaning, your living condition, your living environment, maybe your job, maybe the logistics of your job. Emperor energy, there's some new territory that you guys get into in July. Okay. And I think this is where all this change is happening, as well as this 5 of Pentacles. Gemini, either you or your person may be dealing with some financial issues in July, or dealing with some kind of breakup or split from something, either a person or an activity or a project or something, that ultimately leaves you, a little bit broke. A little bit broke, a little bit ostracized. There's some worry here. 5 of Pentacles, 5. There's some worry about, are we going to get through this? It's new territory. Okay, Gemini. So something definitely happens where, your paper just isn't right all of a sudden. Definitely as a result of an argument or a fight or a split. Let me get some clarity on this before I move on. I want to know what that 5 of Pentacles is about, because it comes out as a major energy there at the end of the month as well, Gemini. And I'm just like, what's that all about? What's that? Show me that 5 of Pentacles for Gemini. Show me, because you're happy in love. Show me. Ooh, betrayal. Hangman energy. Damn, and the Chariot. So something happens for sure in July for some of you, right? Something happens that's a betrayal. Somebody betrays you. You find out that somebody's lied to you. Hangman energy comes in. There's like a refusal to sort of change or move or apologize or do anything, right? There's like a stubbornness here that's happening. And ultimately, Chariot comes in because it's like one of you splits. Either you, well, I think it's you or your person, this person leaves, whatever happens here. And I don't think it's with this love connection. I think this is a separate part of your month, Gemini. Some of you might be breaking up with a friend, a really close friend, or you may have some kind, it's hurtful. Okay. It's hurtful. Three of Swords. It's lies. You feel like somebody lied to you. And or they just did something that was like, so like, damn, you really gonna do me like that? And it ends up, some of you might have to move. You might have to change houses or apartments or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That hanged man's coming in this in this situation here, in terms of like, um I don't know. I feel like you've been, Gemini, you may have been catering to somebody, right? You may have been catering to somebody in your life. And I feel like good friend energy here, like a friend of yours, or maybe even a relative, but somebody that you're close with. You've been catering to them, and you've been indulging them, and you've been indulging their idiosyncrasies, and indulging the way they insist on looking at things and helping them out. And then they turn around and betray you, and you're the one who ends up ass out. You might even have to move. Like I said, some of you, it feels like you may have to change residence as a result. Chariot energy comes in, like you suddenly are set on a whole new path as a result of this kind of like breakup here. You know what I'm saying? It just feels mm, 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 like somebody really, did you wrong. Yup, Four of Pentacles comes in, more Pentacles energy and worry, Hierophant. Somebody's going to come in for you, Gemini, who really is going to be able to help. They're like somebody who's like a teacher to you, or they could even be like a relative or another friend that comes in. That Hierophant energy comes in, and it's like you're experiencing some real financial anxiety, environmental anxiety as a result of this. I'm going to take a look at this in the extended reading. All right. So this is what I'm going to be looking at in the extended reading, because this is some heavy energy. Yeah, that Hierophant comes in with that Four of Pentacles. Somebody in your life definitely comes in who has a lot of wisdom, who you really, really trust, right? Who you have excellent communication with, and they're going to come in and help you with that, with some of this financial insecurity, some of this worry that you have. You're trying to hold on to what you have already, and it's like you fear losing it. As I said, that Five of Pentacles is there, that worry is there. So we're going to take that head on, because it's interesting. This happens around the middle of July, I'm going to say. And so, yeah, you have this really nice love connection. You have a little hiccup with that, right? You guys are all good. But then all of this activity happens here. I'm going to say around the mid to end July. And of course, I'm going to be doing a mid July check-in update, okay? And I'm going to, around in a few weeks. And I'll be looking back to see if it touches on this message, right? But in any case, somebody will definitely be coming in who's going to help you with this situation. Damn, somebody, oh, I can't wait to do the extended and see what's going on here, because it really feels like somebody, a good friend, hurt you. Okay, we got Knight of Cups coming in, Ace of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. So towards the end of the month, this all kind of really sorts itself out. Knight of Cups is here, Knight of Cups is here. And so this individual, Gemini, who came in recently, or who is now, I'm going to say, who is now kind of like your person, right? They may have come in before, or they were just coming in. Now they're your person towards the end of July, and they step up again and help. They're like your knight in shining armor, right? And events come in, Wheel of Fortune comes in to sort of really help and sort of nudge you right back on your path where you need to be. So this is really nice. Ace of Wands, like fire comes in to support you. Heavy, heavy fire comes in to support you. So I hope my lights aren't, I feel like the lighting is changing and stuff on here. I'm sorry if it is. Ace of Wands energy, yeah, that fire. You know, that fire is nice. It's also the phallic symbol in the tarot. So just, I think this person who's in your life now is really a source of help and support. More than help, support. They're very emotionally supportive. You may be dealing with somebody who's got some cancer energy in them, but they're really there to help you out. You know what I'm saying? And emotionally, right? They kind of come to the rescue. Tower moment. Damn. And a two of wands. So a tower moment comes in. Where even more information, the wheel of fortune is like the divine clock that rings, and it's like ding ding ding, and it rings, and it's like it's a divine clock that brings in events and things into your life in perfect timing, right, for you, and it kind of nudges you back to where you need to be. But a tower moment comes out of some of this, and it's like, I don't know, I almost feel like yeah, I almost feel like, something new, some kind of like new information comes in, some new information about a situation, perhaps like this situation over here comes in and really opens up your eyes, really gives you some clarity. That's what tarot moments are all about. And it's like that Ace of Wands energy here, this fire that just began, just really steps up, and you get ready to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to leave all of this in the dust, because what I'm finding out over here is like really a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot. Like, it's an eye opener. It's a real eye opener. And I really feel like that this tower moment over here is what's going to be helping you with this kind of event over here with the Five of Swords. All right, so let's begin to pull out the zodiacs that you may be dealing with. I like to pull zodiac rune stones to see, what signs might you be dealing with. So we have a Taurus energy coming in for some of you. Okay. You may be dealing with a Taurus. You may have Taurus in your chart. Some of you, Aquarius, dealing with an Aquarius. And some of you are dealing with a Virgo. All right, that's that. Taurus, Aquarius, and Virgo. This may be the signs. You may have these signs in your chart. You may be dealing with these zodiac signs in your life. Your lover, this individual over here. It may be in their chart. It may not. Doesn't have to be for you to resonate with this reading. It's just all added energy for the various messages for the various individuals out there watching. All right, guys, so we're going to get into your oracle energy. Let's pull out 3 oracles for this. Celebration, priestess, and blessings. So ultimately, you have a beautiful celebration coming in, right? Celebration, joyous time, a joyous time after a period of maybe some sorrow, right? We have priestess coming in, ignorant or wise, right? Which will it be? Listen, this priestess, I think, is very much associated with this Hierophant energy. As I said, you're going to have somebody coming in for you in July who's really helpful, who's really going to give you exactly the advice that you're seeking, right? Exactly sort of, what you need to hear. And then we also have blessings coming in. Blessings, all right? I believe as well, I mentioned that earlier, blessings coming in for a lot of hard work over here, the blessing of love coming in. Yes, there's a little hiccup here, but like I said, in the extended reading, I'm going to be taking a look at this energy over here for sure. All right, let's pull out your animal spirits. Let me get 3 animal spirits from my beautiful Gemini. Show me. This is a good reading, Gemini. There's a lot going on for you in July. There's, like I said, it feels like there's several different stories happening here. We have the turtle, the firefly, and the dragon. Wow. Well, the turtle is the animal spirit for the storyteller. The turtle is an earth animal spirit, but has this beautiful ability to empathize, to understand. So, turtle energy is that individual who can relate to your story. They can understand your story, but they don't necessarily internalize it and allow it to sort of jam up their own emotional, stuffs. Workings, right? So, as I say, turtle is definitely the animal spirit for storytellers, writers, journalists. Firefly is air energy. The firefly is the animal spirit for sparks of inspiration, right? Creativity, epiphanies, epiphanies, beautiful when you have an epiphany, that spark in the dark that just boom comes out of nowhere and hits you, right? And just illuminates and causes, just the very beginning of maybe even a plan or a dream. Dragon energy, ether energy in this deck associated with the solar plexus, the third chakra, right? The dragon is associated with that divine breath, the divine breath that we have in us, that comes from our solar plexus, that drive, that the dragon is associated with that desire to live, that desire to move forward, that desire to be in the world. And so the dragon is always watching, the dragon is always there, making sure that you are also in line with this life that you yearn for and strive for so strongly. So definitely, talking about walking with purpose, the dragon, walking with purpose, being actively aware of your life breath, your life force, and how you want it to sort of carry on in this world. All right, guys, this is it. I'm going to leave it. This is a pretty beautiful reading for you, Gemini. A lot going on, but ultimately, you have all the strength you need. I see that Queen of Wands peeking through there because you do have all the strength you need to deal with whatever comes your way. All right, guys, but that's it for right now. Please do check the extended link where I'm going to be extended the link to the extended reading where I'm going to be getting into this situation over here, what's happening with this Hanged Man and this Three of Swords, and the as well as this Tower moment and Hierophant energy coming in. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If this resonated, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. But for right now, guys, I'm going to wish you and everyone in your life love, life, and happiness, and I hope to see you next time on my channel. Bye-bye, Gemini.